Hi Cancer, welcome to your daily tarot reading. Thank you for joining me in this reading. I am going to be using the Lightseers deck and the Lovers Oracle deck for the reading. So remember to take what resonates and to leave behind whatever you feel does not from the reading. So let's find out what messages come through with the cards. So the first card we have is the Five of Wands in the reverse. So with the Five of Wands, you could be dealing with a fire sign. So a Sagittarius, Leo, or even an Aries. Next we have the High Priestess in the reverse. So the High Priestess shows you could be dealing with a Cancer. And finally, we have the Eight of Cups in the reverse. With the Eight of Cups, you could be dealing with a water sign. So a Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. And at the bottom of the deck, we have the Temperance card, which shows that you could be dealing with a Sagittarius. Okay, so with the Temperance card at the bottom of the deck, this is a card that shows perhaps being able to remain cautious when it comes to proceeding in a situation. So this is all about moderation and being able to put in just enough to be able to control a situation and be able to control where it leads. So with this card, it's very cautious energy, and so it is very steady forward movement that is very perhaps moving at a slow pace, but it's also moving at a very consistent pace forward. So with the Temperance card, this is a card that also shows a lot of surety, and it is a card all about having a lot of certainty as far as perhaps the direction you would like to go in. It's also a card that shows a lot of purpose. So this is all about making the direction that you may be headed is one that feels right to you, and it is also one that is right on the grander scheme of things. So the Temperance card is also a card that shows a lot of divine intervention. It also has this angelic kind of sense behind it. So with this card, this could even be perhaps your spirit guides coming into play. This is all about having that divine protection as far as a connection, and also any decisions that you are making, and in any guidance when it comes to the direction you are choosing to move in. So with the Five of Wands, with this card showing up in the reverse, this is a card that shows a bit more cooperation in a situation, being able to perhaps hear somebody else out, and also having somebody else also be able to hear you out. So with this card showing up in the reverse, this is not so much being taken by perhaps ego or wanting to be heard and being overly defensive, but instead having that ability to perhaps have a more harmonious kind of an interaction with somebody else, and being able to even hear each other out as far as perhaps having different points of views and coming to a place whereby you are perhaps able to find a nice balance or a nice agreement. And with the High Priestess showing up in the reverse, with this card in the reverse, this is all about perhaps being able to see through some kind of a mystery, or being able to detect past any secrets. This is a card whereby there's a lot of openness, especially with it in the reverse. So this is all about having that very deep connection with somebody, and it is also a very intuitive kind of a response in a connection. It's also about being in touch with your higher self. So this could be the kind of connection that feels right on an emotional level, but also with the Temperance card showing at the bottom of the deck, I'm seeing that it may be a very good fit. It may be a very well-balanced, uniquely deep kind of a connection. And with the High Priestess, this is about being very open as well. So the connection could also be one that is perhaps in a place whereby you are also able to be very open with each other. It may be getting to that point whereby you may be also able to speak truth about anything that you may be feeling or that another person is feeling. But this is all about being able to see through or get access into perhaps finding out the truth. And with the Eight of Cups showing up in the reverse, this card is all about being able to perhaps maintain a connection that is perhaps even going through difficult times. This is all about being able to remain even when things are getting a bit difficult, or reaching a point whereby they may be in a little bit of a rocky state. So with the Eight of Cups in the reverse, this is about staying in a situation that may feel as though it's going through a very rough period and not giving up on it. So this is also about having that that strong will, wanting to continue to fight for something and not wanting to walk away from it. So this other person may be also perhaps in this connection seeing that they maybe want to stay in it a bit longer, but this card in the reverse is all about staying in a situation in spite of perhaps difficulty, but that is not necessarily because of hope that things will get better. It is also coming from a place of fear of having to be alone and having to walk alone if you had to walk away from a situation. So this is also about perhaps finding some kind of a haven, a safe haven in this connection. So I'm seeing that perhaps it is an element of protection in some kind of way, and there is this desire to be able to prolong this situation or to be able to fight for it and remain in it because of its comfort that it provides. Okay, so I'm going to pull out a card from Lover's Oracle deck. So I'm going to pull out 3 cards, one for you, Cancer, one for the other person, and one for the overall situation. So I'm going to pull out a card for you first, Cancer. So this is the card that came out. It says, imagine all unwanted thoughts dissolving into light, creating room for new opportunities and possibilities for your life. Okay, so with this card, this is all about perhaps being able to focus on the more positive side of a connection, being able to see past or to be able to dissolve any negativity when it comes to a connection, and also with it saying that there's new possibilities for your life through this connection. I'm also seeing this connection may be one that is going through some kind of a transformation or is getting the opportunity to be able to perhaps be changed in some kind of a way. So I'm seeing that happening through very constructive discussions, a lot of honesty with the High Priestess, and then there's also that divine intervention with the Temperance card. So this could be fate also at play. So I'm going to pull out a card for the other person. So this is the card that came out. It says Twin Flames. Your passion ignites. Okay, so with this card, I'm seeing a very strong kind of a connection that exists. So with this card, it's also a card that speaks of a very passionate kind of a connection. So it's possible this connection does go through its moments, but I'm seeing that this is a kind of connection that really is able to continue and push through any of those situations. And even with the Temperance card, and that being a card all about moderation, that may be something that this connection is perhaps beginning to learn as far as perhaps those ups and downs. I'm seeing that there could be some kind of a balance that can be found in being able to go through those ups and downs. So I'm going to pull out a card, this overall connection. So this is the card that came out, and it says, let there be closeness between you, but always give each other space. Love never claims, it simply allows and gives. And so with this card, this having the message about allowing and giving and never really claiming. I'm also getting this pertaining to the Temperance card. So that's all about that moderation aspect in this connection. So I'm seeing that perhaps this connection is one that is perhaps going through a period whereby you may be finding your footing in a connection. And I'm also seeing that it is happening very constructively with the Five of Wands in the reverse. So I'm seeing this may be what feels like perhaps finding an understanding in a connection. Yes, so that is the message I'm getting with these cards, Cancer. So I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will speak to you in tomorrow's reading. Bye, Cancer.